Oh, hello. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. My name is Johnny Hansen, and these are my lofty thoughts. Now, the first thing I think you're going to notice is that I'm not in the loft space anymore. No, I got moved into the house. I didn't want to be in the house, but we don't always get what we want. We started renting out our loft, and when people stay there, I can't have all my gear up there. And because we've had a couple of bookings recently, it was like, why am I still doing this up here? This is a big drag to carry everything down and everything up. So here I am. Now I'm just in one of our guest rooms, and I'm just going to do it from here for a bit. There's still lofty thoughts because they're still elevated. However, they are not in the loft, so it is no longer a double entendre. It is just a fact that these are lofty thoughts, I guess. Now, last time I was talking about and threatening to speak about childless millennials. And there is a picture on my phone. I hope that I can put it up in the corner and you can see this picture of these two goofball clowns. It's two morbidly obese 20-somethings. One looks Hispanic. The other is a white man with blue hair. At least I think it's a white man. It could be a transitioned person of whatever. Who knows then what the outcome is attempting to be. It's very unclear. Both of these people are disturbing looking. To me, I don't know. Gosh, if I looked like a pile of melted butter, I would be unhappy with my output in life and input also. So I'd be unhappy with both those things, and they should be. They're not. Their shirts, they have these two shirts, and you can tell that they're very proud of the shirts because they're kind of pushing them out like, hey, look at how cool this is. And it says, the world's happiest childless millennials, or something to that effect. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, if that's what you want, I mean, nobody else around you wants you having kids either. You're disgusting. You look disgusting. Nice blue hair guy or whatever. Sorry. It is a disturbing look for both of them. And it's very obvious that they're saying like, I hate my dad and I hate my mom and look at how much I hate them because I've totally destroyed my body and my face and my life. And I'm so angry that I'm reflecting it out at the nation, and they're clearly at some sort of a rally too. It's just a disturbing picture. I don't like it. I don't like them in a way. I pray that I should pray. It's hard to pray. It's hard to pray like that. It's hard to pray for those people because I just find them so unappealing. That's the part of me that I'm working on, is to have compassion for those people who certainly wouldn't have compassion for me. Obviously, that's fine. But the people that I get like, it's a bummer because they just don't seem to, there's like a angriness there that I don't know. I could go on. It's really not going anywhere with it. I just get frustrated with that look because I know that it's such a heavy contributor to the degradation of the societal fabric that used to hold us all together. Because I look at that and I go like, hey guys, this is not ideal. You're not ideal. And they go, we're the perfect individual. And you go, no, you're not going to live very long because your body is so unbelievably wrecked. 400 pounders right next to each other. And I'm saying like body gets wider as it goes down until it finally hits that big gelatinous mass that hangs over the sides of their pants in every direction. Yeah, wait till you see the picture. Then you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's, yes, you're childless, Good. But can you also just be airless? Is that too? Can you go without air from now on and meaning just kind of disappear? Gosh, I know that's so terrible. Is it terrible? That's how I feel. Truthfully, that's how I feel about them. And I'm working on that because I just think, oh, but what for me? So that was, I was going to go further with that one, but the more I thought about it, I thought, gosh, that might just come off as I'm just so not, it might give too much away of my opinion. Have I done that already? Episode 69, by the way. Have I given too much of my opinion away? I might have. But it is an opinion I have, so there it is. Okay, so let me see here. This is episode 69. Gosh, I can't believe we're already at 69. How in the heck did this happen? It's been so fast. So today we've got a few ideas. The first thing I wanted to talk about is social media induced ADHD in adults. I think we have a heavy influx of that. And you'll notice because so many people are instantly bored. Adults, instantly bored. We're just sitting around here and they won't even say nothing. There's not an actual verbiage of that. You can just see it happen and they got to get their phone or they got to get up and they got to do this and that. There's no you just can't sit. So when I go to I had to have an oil change done on the truck. And I go into the place and I give them the keys and it's going to be 20 minutes. No problem. I'm going to sit in there because I have to use the restroom or whatever. And I'm watching everyone, and everyone has to instantly get their phone out and start fiddling with it. And they're doing 2 or 3 different things at once. And I just sat up and watched. I'm not better or worse. That's just what I like to do. I figured I'm going to watch this whole situation. I can kind of be patient, look around, and keep an eye out. Plus, I don't have any social media. So really all I'd be watching is videos or something. And it was only 20 minutes. And I thought I should keep my eyes up too because that's how I like to be aware of my situations. And then maybe there's somebody that's cool comes in and wants to talk or something. I don't know. Anyways, I just feel like there is also a lack of attention. Maybe I have some of that too. I don't know that mine's from social media considering I don't have any, but there is an impatience. I have an impatience for sure. And so many other people around me have such a complete lack of patience for the stillness of your mind to just sit and think or sit and watch or sit and ponder and enjoy what's going on around you maybe, or just enjoy the peace of sitting for a second and just sitting and watching and looking around. Nope, can't do that. Got to get that phone out. Got to start fiddling with it. Anything could be happening around you. You don't know. They're trying to get you to go move your vehicle, but you're deep in your social media thing, and maybe that's just what's happening. But I think when I try to ask people to do just simple, easy stuff now, they can't. It's hard to follow because everything's become so instantaneous that anything that might take a while, it's uninteresting. Oh, it's not instantly right now? Nah, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Even my son, my youngest, is becoming quick little videos are not enough for him anymore. 8-minute videos, 7.5 minutes too long. This is boring. It's funny. It gets funnier. And that's boring. What else? We got something else? This isn't instantly only funny for every moment. There's a build? No. I don't want to ruminate and get into the funny. I just want it to be instantly balls getting kicked. Kicking the balls. Which reminds me of that, what was that? Idiocracy? When, if you've seen that, it's got Luke Wilson in it. God, that movie is funny. I haven't seen it in a while. But he's one of the characters, the lawyer character, is watching this show on as he sits on his toilet recliner so he can crap and pee on his recliner as he watches his show called Ouch My Balls, I think is what it's called. And it's just everybody getting hit in the balls. Quick. Balls. There's another scene, ball getting kicked in the balls. Oh, there's a ball hitting his balls. There's a spike bat hitting his balls. It's just like douche, 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 and he's laughing. And that's how that feels like the direction we're heading. And then I kind of thought, boy, isn't that kind of tying into how, I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but like commercials, we are really being convinced that every little pissant thing we have needs to be solved by a pill. Like, I'm using social media all the time, so I've developed, because I can't stop watching this, I've developed ADHD. So now I need a pill. And it's like, well, maybe you just could, taper off. This will take a while. Maybe it's a 2-week decline off of the consistent daily, every second of my free moments need to be spent in the screen. You could, taper down half of the available seconds. You try to sit there patiently for, if you're going to be there for a minute, 30 seconds of it, you just trying to see if you can be okay inside of your own mind for a second. See if there's any thoughts there that you can just organically develop and think about and find any joy in. And instead it's like, no, do you feel tense? Do you feel nervous, anxious? Well, here's this pill we're going to give you. And we're not even going to advise you to do anything else. Like, if there is an issue, talk therapy. It's like, nope, this pill's just going to fix it. So take this and, maybe you can get better. This is going to get you better. And it's like, it feels like we're being convinced that the things that we're doing that are inorganic are organic, but the feeling, the byproduct of those things, the discontented, the malcontented, is actually a syndrome that you need pills for. Do you notice that? So it's no longer like, hey, you've been doing this thing too much, and I think that maybe that thing is the problem. No. That thing's not a problem. I'm just going to do that. But because I do so much of it, I'm going to need some pills to keep me, when I'm not doing this thing, to keep me, because I'm spiraling. Do you see this? I see this in so many people. It's like, it's kind of like it fits along with just, it's like these technologies that we're bringing into our lives that are these daily technologies, these all-day technologies. Like I was saying the other day about when I put an earbud in, I'm getting like earbud tinnitus or like earbud deafness, is because I got to take the earbuds out more often and just kind of spend some time here in the world in balance, by the way, because I'll have like one earbud in because I'm at work, so I won't have the secondary earbud in. So this ear is like clear and it hears real well, and then this other ear kind of is cloudy. After I pull the earbud out, there's like an imbalance. That can't be good, right? I would think. I've been trying to be more conscious of that. I've been trying to not always have a earbud in if I don't have to. I'm trying to do it like 50% less, I would say. I guess that's where this whole thing has come from, is I'm trying to be more conscious of the byproduct of my actions. So if I'm doing something like coffee, it's funny, I've had to cut back significantly on my caffeine intake just because I wasn't sleeping real well. And geez, what do you know, if you cut back from 15 cups of coffee a day to just the normal persons, I have a cup, maybe 1 cup a day, which is the one that I'm having. By the way, it's in the afternoon now. I have been drinking this. I was watching Andrew Huberman, who you probably already know, is a neuroscientist or something like that at Stanford, I believe. Super smart guy. And he said you should be drinking these. It's a company called LMNT, and it's these little salt packets that also have like potassium and magnesium in them. And by the way, we're all magnesium deficient. So they're great. And he said they're great. And he said, after you do them for a few days, so what you do instead of coffee is you get up and you have that. There's no caffeine in it. And he actually posits that in the first 90 minutes, you're awake. Your receptors for caffeine aren't even active enough for it to do what you'd want it to do. And that it's actually better for your body to take this in, and then maybe 90 minutes later or a couple hours later, whenever you feel like it, that's after that 90-minute period, you drink the coffee, and actually it's going to have a better result. It lasts longer because your body's able to do what it's supposed to do with it, I guess. And you'll benefit better from that throughout the day. And it won't, as it was for me, it was like I would wake up and I'd have my cup of coffee first thing. And that would kind of start the day, and I'd pour like a cold brew to bring with me. And then all day I'd be drinking this cold brew, and I'd, put water in there sometimes, but it was just this consistent flow of caffeine all through the day, sometimes into the night. I think I mentioned that before. I thought maybe cutting back to like 6 o'clock would help, but truthfully, like consuming coffee all day and then cutting off at any time is just not excellent. Especially at 45. Have I mentioned I'm 45? I know, gosh. Oof. That's another thing. Isn't that weird? Life seems to go fast. Anyways, this has been working really well. It took a few days for me to get my body back into balance, because it's been decades. I wake up, I have a coffee, and then I have coffee. Boop. So there were some pretty expected outcomes of cutting back as I did. And I'm a cold turkey. I'm either on or I'm off. I don't have I'm going to taper back. So when I say 50%, it's just like, I can't do 50. I'd encourage you to give it a shot if you can. You might be like me. I can either do everything or I can do nothing. This is going to go ahead and be a I went 5 days, no coffee. And boy, talk about headaches. Even a little shaky, and kind of just felt like it's like a strange nervous energy. And about day 5 or 6, I think that started to dissipate significantly. But it was funny. I was talking to Andy. I was like, gosh, I just don't feel good. And he goes, well, what did you change? I said, well, I cut caffeine back. And he goes, cool. And he goes, how much do you think you were... well, he always knew. I was a coffee drinker all day. We've been hanging out for so many years. But he'd say, how much did you cut back? And I was like, well, basically 0 for the last 4 days. And he goes, well, I think there's some for how much you used to drink this, there's some pretty significant things that can happen. Let's look them up. And it was you can have flu-like symptoms. I didn't exactly have that, but I certainly didn't feel myself for a bit. And I remember we were going to record, and he goes, why don't you just have half of this coffee I'm having? And he split it with me. And boy, what do you know? As soon as I got a little bit of that caffeine back in me, I leveled back out a bit and felt pretty good. So I've been making sure to have just a little bit. And I don't want to be a non-caffeine person, but I would like to utilize caffeine more effectively. If I'm using it, it should be a opportunity for me to enjoy the effects, not just be dependent upon the effects, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've been doing that, and it's or instead, this is what I would notice. If you went to your doctor and you said, God, I've just been feeling nervous. They'll go well, why do you think that is? You go, I don't know. It's just coming out of left field. And they go, well, we know how to fix that. We're going to give you some blankety blank, blank, blank. I've had doctors just kind of quickly get to we'll just give you this. And I think more effective would be, let's take a look at your diet and what you're doing day to day. And there should be a greater assessment of, the input versus output of your diet to kind of figure out what are you taking? And maybe it's already something you're taking that we can take out, or potentially this magnesium thing that I'm telling you about. Gosh, I didn't realize how how much magnesium is used to regulate various things in your body. And since taking it, my wife, the brilliant wife that she is, has said, you need to start drinking these things too. So it was it was watching some professional say it and having my wife say, I bought some, here they are, drink them. And then just, doing it. I think that's been a success. I'm gonna keep doing that. So if you, individual out there, lofty listener, are consuming a lot of coffee and you feel like it might be negative, at the age of 45, it was time to start assessing what I'm putting in. I can't just drink coffee all day and just zoom on by. I don't think that's healthy in a long term. So I've been assessing and trying to make some smart changes because I would like to live to be old, but not just that. I'd like to maximize my capabilities with every age I hit, that's why I work out. And now I've been blessed with pretty good genetics, but even those will fall apart over the long course. You have to be intentional with what you take into your body. And that's what I'm trying to do. Now, okay. That's that lecture. Well, isn't that fun? Didn't you like that? Isn't that cool? Yeah, I'll share that with you. I don't know that there's a lot of funny today. I just felt more like these ideas kind of come and go. And I have here, this is great. I like this one. So I was reading an article, and then a friend actually gave me their answer on why we don't make cool buildings anymore, why we don't make any of that cool architecture that, you can see. Like, it's usually like your government buildings are super nice. Like, we were in D-Land, Florida, and their courthouse has a massive bronze dome on top of it, and then like a huge lightning rod that maybe was for when they would connect. Do you guys realize that the Empire State Building, that big rod that sticks out the top of it is actually so that you could moor a not a hot air balloon, a blimp for like the Hindenburg and stuff. So the Hindenburg would fly in and they would moor that thing onto the top of and that's how you'd like wait there. That's how you'd get delivered at the top of the Empire State Building in this thing, I guess. And that's where they'd keep it. And then you'd hop on back up in there and float on back to, I don't know, were they crossing oceans with that freaking thing? I don't know how far they were going, but I should have looked that up more. But they used to make really nice buildings that were super cool. And the answer on why they don't make any cool buildings is there's no financial, there's not enough money back. There's not enough. Yeah, you don't get enough return on your investment, enough ROI on the investment of making your building beautiful. And I'd argue that that's not true. I know. I just think, like, if you make beautiful things, people will come admire them. And instead, we just make these big boxes that, and I don't know, maybe you'd put a store in there and people would only look at the outside of the building. But I don't know, if you made awesome stuff on the inside. There's a pizza parlor a couple cities away in Eustis, Florida. In the downtown of Eustis, they have all the old buildings from the early 1900s. And you'll go inside these buildings, and boy, they spent a lot of time doing cool stuff. In this pizza place, like, you can see all of this rich artwork that's carved into the wood and carved into everything. And they took time and they put little pieces of trim on everything, and it's fantastic. And we don't do any of that anymore with these buildings. They're just, hey, how many yards concrete do we need to make a 50-foot tall rectangle with as few windows as possible, and people are just going to go in here, they're going to perform work, and they're going to get the heck out of here. And there's going to be nothing aesthetically beautiful about it. You're just a cog in the wheel. Get on to doing what you're doing and get the heck out of here. There's no time for extra money spent on beautifying anything anymore because there's no return on that investment. I don't believe that for a second. I believe that if I go to a place and I work every day and it's beautiful there, I'm probably going to enjoy it slightly more than if there's nothing to ever look at and it's just dreary and it's gray walls. And it might not show up in the pocketbook of the guy who owns the company, but boy, it feels like, I don't know that that's true. I just feel like people might go there and admire it. We certainly stood outside and admired that courthouse for a bit. It's beautiful. The cap of it, that dome is made of bronze. Was it bronze? No. Maybe? Am I thinking bronze? Yeah. Anyways, it had patinaed. Yeah. Gosh, it's just so neat. It's all kind of, it's still got the bronze look to it, but there's just tons of green and, man, we don't do any of that anymore. And I don't know why. Jeez Louise, are we already at 26 minutes? How the heck did that happen? Well, hey guys, I got to get the heck out of here. I didn't realize it was that late. I got to go pick up my kid. Jeez Louise. Well, we don't make anything nice anymore because there's no return on investment. That's the answer. No return on investment. So why try? And why try to have kids? We just want to party and be fat and disgusting and gross and, just stay hidden behind the screen. There's nothing wrong with you. Let's just get you some pills. It's not that you're on the screen all the time and that you have no communication with regular people. Just give you some more pills and you'll stop feeling like you're depressed because you won't actually feel anything. You'll just be the same. You'll just be a hollow person that goes into a hollow building and does a hollow, a bit of effort that makes somebody money. That's going to be life, and then you're going to die. Oh, doesn't that seem vacant? We can do better. Let's do better. I'm trying to do better. You can do better too. Look, we can all cut back on coffee. That's a start. Try to make ourselves a little healthier. I don't know. I want to be as healthy as I can throughout the latter years of my life if possible. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I hope you'll try to do it too. Gosh, I can't believe how fast this went. Thank you so much for joining me. I hadn't done one of these in a little bit. I had my mom in town. We did a recording. I did one, I believe, after that. But it's just been so busy. Gosh, we had a hurricane. That left us powerless for 5 days. And we had a lot of cleanup to do. We went and helped some other folks do some cleanup. And boy, all of a sudden it's like 8 days later. And it's hard to kind of get in the rhythm again. It feels a little awkward talking to yourself and to no reflection and trying to gather time in your head so you know where it's at and trying to put together thoughts that nobody's responding to. It takes a little effort. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope this is cogent enough to be enjoyable. I enjoy it every single time anyway, so I hope you do too. And I thank you for joining me. And I just pray that you have a deep and a fulfilling relationship with Jesus and that he blesses you all the days of your life. Have a great afternoon. Thanks again.